Happy sunrise, brothers and sisters. It's your brother G World, 7_D. Just doing this quick video in the morning. Just chilling out, walking around. Well, doing my exercise. Yeah, I want brothers and sisters to continue to do your research. The other video I did, I talked about the Ogeechee River. You know, the Geechee people, the Gullah Geechee people, the Gwale Ogeechee people. Them people didn't come from no damn Africa, man. They were already here. All right. America is the old world, as well as Africa is the old world, and Europe is the old world, and Asia is the old world. America's not the new world. Don't buy into that mess. America's a new world to white folks. All these worlds were old because all these civilizations are old. You know, so that's white folks who call it the new world because they were, quote, exploring something that they never went to as free people. So whenever they call something new, it's not really new. So America is the old world. And some of our black historians will sit there and say America's the new world. No, it's not. It's new world in white folks' terminology. It is the old world, but Africa's the old world, and Europe is the old world. So we cannot take that old, which I call old school plantation talk, man. We gotta realize how corrupt these white folks, what they have done, man. And let me also say this, is that our history has been hijacked. I talked about the Mandan people, one of those ancient tribes in America. Those were Mandingos. I mentioned that before. The Mandan people were Mandingos, all right? And I mentioned Saniki, Malinki, Tallahassee, Mississippi, Lenape, Tennessee, Yuchi. Like I said, these are basically the same type of Negroes, man, but broke off into different groups. Remember, I told you there's a Timbuktu out in California. So that obviously tells you, brothers and sisters, Frank Joseph talked about how there was a black group that sailed from over to California because you did have black people who came over through the Pacific and sailed on the West Coast. All right? But a lot of our people are ignorant that the fact you had black people here already selling out. But, man, this morning stuff, this kind of fluctuation, this weather is kind of goofy. But what I was going to say, yeah, I told you the Anasazi were nothing but the Mali. They were the Mali. And they usually look at a lot of those names that you find, like these little, I'm going to talk about it, like these different places over in Mexico. You still have some Mali-Indian names, man. Remember the Mali is like one of those broken off tribes from ancient Egypt. And Egypt consists of very different tribal groups. All right, very different nations, put that way. And then a lot of those individuals broke off into their own thing. And these extension, I said Mali is just nothing but an extension of ancient Egypt. I know it wasn't called ancient Egypt, but they just an extension of that. That's what the Mali is. You know, that's why a lot of those Negroes, they just came and built on top of other black civilizations because they were just the same damn group of people, but just came in a later period. And then you did have other blacks. Now, I want to say this now. You had your black people who built empires over here in America, and you did have nomadic blacks over here. All right? You had some of our people who did have teepees. That's not true when people say, oh, just the Mongoloid had teepees. That's not true. Some of our people did have teepees, but I believe that they used them, the so-called teepees, when it was going on a war hunt. And they need to set up travel or set up an encampment. When they go travel, they set them teepees, man. So that was basically, so like what we do today is camping. That was a form of ancient camping for them. But some of our people did hunt, like that. So they go out and hunt. So I don't say that it was the so-called just Mongoloid had teepees, because there's proof that our people had teepees too. Some of our people did. And like I said, some of the blacks here were nomadic. Some of them more advanced civilization. But even the ones with advanced civilization, some of them did use the teepee, like I said, when they went to hunting. And so like I said, when we go out You go out, let's say some of y'all go out hunting or just camping, you have your tent and everything. That's how they made it use a so-called teepee. You can just makeshift, break it down, and then move out to another site, you know. So we got to start being more critical when we do our research. I'm going to talk about some of the Miami Black Indians eventually, too, because, like I said, I listen to numerous people, but I want our people to understand this. We weren't just from New York to Florida to Texas and then sprinkles of California. We were all over North America, from Canada all the way down to what you call Texas, and then we was in so-called Central America, and we was in so-called South America. We were all over the Americas. All the Americas were so-called black, all right? And there's nothing wrong with the term black. White folks make the term black bad. Black is not bad. It's not bad, all right? Black is not bad, so we got to get out of there. You know, oh, black is bad. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's white folks who said that mess. But you had the numerous different black empires here. So you have to understand that, is that we always moved and we traveled. Like I said, you find Maya amongst the Buddhists. You find Maya in ancient Egypt. You find Maya in ancient America. There was always a connection because Maya was a spiritual priest and priestess. All right. And guess you've seen it, like I mentioned before in other videos, how there was a tomb in Egypt dedicated to Maya. Maya was a spiritual teacher who did spiritual practices. All right. So we have to understand that. I also have a picture in one of these books that shows you a black king in, I want to say Mexico. And they had a bunch of black dignitaries. And then they show a bunch of their white slaves. And they were like in diapers, had them big old clubs, like they were cavemen. I kid you not. And they were the slaves of the black rulers here in the Americas. So that story about people being brought over in ships, I personally believe that that's just basically, that's the story originally of white folks. How they were the original ones brought over in ships. And they were used to be sacrificed or slaves to the black rulers here. And then when some of the black rulers die, they'll be the retainer slave, where they'll basically kill them off and then bury them next to the black ruler or around the area of the black ruler who ruled here in the Americas. But see, these white folks, some of these white folks know our true history, man. That's why they tripping on reparations. They want to give everyone else something, but they know they owe us. But see, here's the key. When you really start studying everything, they know that not only they owe us cash money, they owe us gold, and they owe us land that they stolen from us. All right, identity they stole it from us, and they gave it to themselves and to other outsiders, a lot of those mixed Asians. All right, so we have to understand our history fully. And stop with this Pan-African stuff, man. That's garbage, man. You know, I don't. Most of them dudes, when I hear them talk, I just like throw up. I want to throw up because they're not saying nothing, and they basically just regurgitating what white folks taught them, or some Negro at their school, some Negro professor taught them that, man. You know, don't listen to that. don't listen to them Negroes no more. Please don't, because those type of Negroes will keep you lost in space, like the show. You'll be lost in space, but you're being lost in space with misinformation. So I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, that. So I want you to really get your true history, learn it, master it, and do not allow these goofball Negroes to sit there and tell you who you are. Because there's a lot of these goofball Negroes out here, man, that I can't stand. All right, brothers and sisters. Peace and love. Peace and love. All right.